Oh, can you guys believe it? We are already in the middle of August. Like, time has really flew by this year, but that also means that we're 8 months into Trump's presidency at the moment. And I mean, can we all agree things have not been so great so far? I mean, of course, that's my opinion. I'm sure many other people would say that they're loving this, but I'm kind of doubtful of that. But anyway, we're going to hear from a few Trump voters who are not really feeling him right now, and they're sounding a little bit remorseful for who they voted for in November. But without further ado, let's get straight into it.
I was a Trump supporter. I don't know how long I can keep doing this.
You should have stopped years ago, but continue.
I have a construction company, and not a thing is getting done.
So here we are, in the midst of the consequences of our own actions. Got it. Continue.
This is what I get.
Yes.
This is what I get. Nothing but white boys. It takes 4 days to do a one-day job.
Sad and horrible thing is that you only think because it's directly affecting you. You don't care about the millions of other people that it's affecting in the United States. This is 100% what you get when you ignore that he's a felon. When you ignore when he said, grab her by the you-know-what. When you ignore that he is liable for sexual assault. When you ignore that he has done scams and he says racist, horrible, homophobic things. This is what you get. Because the racism was there in his language all the time. You could hear him speak his racism every single day, and you chose to ignore it. So yeah, this is what you have to deal with. And it doesn't matter which race we're talking about. Donald Trump only wants white people in this country, and you ignored that. So yeah, you're dealing with it. All my love.
Yeah, it's pretty funny when you put it that way. It's funny how he was all about voting for him, not thinking of the consequences of his actions, knowing that he was going to be employing construction workers. Not sure. I don't think he said if he owns a company or if he's like a project manager. I don't know really much about construction and like what the roles do and everything, but now he's stuck with Americans who are taking triple the time to finish the work. And see, that's the repercussions of your actions. You could have avoided this by not voting for the person that you ended up voting for. Yeah, this is really what you get. I definitely don't feel bad. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I'm not 100% sure if a lot of these people come on here just to kind of troll. I don't know if he's trolling, but we'll take it at face value. This is kind of going to be on like a side note, but I do see from time to time a lot of the people that are Trump voters, they want to, like when they're posting on TikTok especially, they're wanting to be like, oh, like I can't believe that, like as if they are going to be saying they regret their vote, but then they turn around and say liberals are just so damn stupid or something along those lines. I did run across one of those, actually a couple of those today, and I'm like, if you were really secure in your vote, you wouldn't have to come on joking about it. But that's just me. I'm not in the people's minds who do that. So again, people like to rage bait and, you know, joke around online for views and clicks and engagement. So I'm assuming that's what it's for. But anyway, yeah, this is just what the typical Trump voter, this is how they are. They think that they are going to get everything like that they want on a silver platter. They thought they were getting that with Trump, and it turns out they're not. Like, they're finding out with the rest of us that, yes, they are definitely affected like the rest of us. And when things don't go their way and when they're seeing the light and the reality, then they're starting to roll back and express remorse about voting for him. But sorry, bro, be lucky you have a job at this time, and you'll just have to deal with the workers that you have. Tough luck.
I just saw a video of Kamala Harris speaking, and she looks drunk. She looks incoherent, and holy freaking crap, we dodged a bullet. I mean, Donald Trump literally dodged a bullet for democracy. We know what's best for us. Glad we all participated in bringing a true leader back into the White House. God bless America, guys.
A few moments later.
I'm sorry to my community for voting the way I did. Now I can empathize and sympathize with the black community. Now that it's here with us too, it's like crap. I honestly, legitimately didn't think it was real. But it's real as hell. And it's obviously minority groups that are targeted. and persecuted.
I didn't fucking vote for this. Number one, imagine that they give you freshly squeezed lemonade, and then you drink it and you enjoy it. Whatever.
And now, with your brown ego bruised and your crumbled white fantasy, you come crawling back with your watered down lemonade analogy. He is another example that internalized racism is costly. He's only leaving MAGA now because he's just figured out that no matter how hard he betrays his own people, no matter how far he's shoved his tongue up white supremacy's ass, they still rejected him. You pretended like you didn't know racism exists for black people. You pretended racism didn't exist for you or your Latino community either. You truly believed that if you backstabbed your own people hard enough, if you spewed white supremacist talking points hard enough, demonized black and brown people, and played the obedient mouthpiece, you'd win their approval. You didn't just ignore racism, you became a willing tool of it. You helped elect a white supremacist into power, fully aware of what he was. You thought proving your loyalty to whiteness would make you immune. Instead, you might just find yourself in alligator Alcatraz.
I just saw a video of Kamala Harris speaking, and holy freaking crap, we dodged a bullet. I mean,
you are the bullet. Your sick, pathetic obsession with earning white approval from people who openly despise your existence helped push this entire country toward collapse. You didn't just put yourself in danger, you dragged your entire community down with you. You sold out your own community, leaving women, children, and hardworking people to be hunted, brutalized, and criminalized by the very people you beg for acceptance from. You willingly volunteered to be a weapon against your own people. You are the bullet. Selfish Latinos like this will sacrifice everything for white approval and will only change their mind when they don't get that approval. They are not to be trusted because the second a Latino like this is offered a tiny scrap of white acceptance, he will backstab his own community again. He will degrade his own self again for those tiny scraps of white acceptance. There are too many in the Latino community who are still so indoctrinated to still assimilate to whiteness, and he is one of them. A lot of us who vote Democrat, it's not because we are loyal to the party. It's because there are only two viable options, and one is clearly better not only for our community, but all marginalized communities.
Harmony is always going to eat the person she's reacting to up. And I mean, it's totally true. It's like, of course it's not going to apply to everybody, but a lot of these Latino and just minority voters that voted for Trump, they want to feel like they're a part of something to where they could align with the majority and get that acceptance. Now, of course, people could have voted for him for a multitude of reasons, but this guy knew that Trump was after his own community, people in his own community. Think about the people who are here who just want a better life and were working and doing things the right way, like the rest of people who are citizens do each and every day. They're not bothering anybody or anything, but some people are just so sickened by immigrants being here to where they'll do anything to get them out, and to where they want to align just regular working immigrants along with the criminals. Now, of course, everybody is mostly on the same page and wanting to get criminals deported. And Trump voters will always say, oh, well, what about Obama deported, what was it, 6 million, blah, blah, blah. We know, and he did it using due process, which is the right way. You don't get to pick up who you want and say, oh yeah, you look like an immigrant, here, go get detained. That's not the way that it works. You have to follow the right steps to be able to do that. No one's really against deportation when it's for the people who need to be out of the country. His followers want all immigrants out, and to think that people within this guy's own community, and it's crazy to think that people in the Latino community, such as this guy and others, and I'm even going to put the Black community in here because yes, sometimes we forget about other immigrants that are here besides Latinos. What about the Haitians and people from Jamaica, everywhere? Like, what are we going to do? Like, we're putting our own communities up at risk for deportation, and just for these people who are not thinking straight to just go and align themselves with people that are totally against them, but they feel that just because they get a few likes and supportive comments that they're not going to suffer any repercussions. They're going to get all of the benefits of that white people do. And this guy's clearly see that he was wrong. And I find it hard to believe. I'm not sure what state he's in. I don't know where he lives. I find it really hard to believe that he's just finding out how racist this country could be. I find that hard to believe. Something must have happened. I should have looked into this guy's page. I don't know if she tagged him or whatnot. I think she usually does tag him, but something must have happened to where he was greatly affected for him to make all of these follow-up videos. I wonder if a relative or someone got deported or lost their job or got detained, or maybe I wonder if he got detained. I don't know, but it will come to bite you in the butt. And a lot of people are starting to find that out. They don't care unless it affects them. And going back to what Harmony mentioned towards the end of the clip, every Democratic president, there was something that, okay, I wasn't necessarily agreeing with, even Obama and Biden. You're not going to agree with a president or anybody, just like you meet in your own life or within your own family. You're not going to agree with them 100% of the time. But for people to use the excuse like this man was going to save America and be the person who was going to fix everything. It's just crazy to me. The minute y'all saw him talk about putting tariffs on China, that's when y'all should have known. Not to mention the other stuff beforehand that happened. Like, number one, he didn't stop the war in 24 hours. But the minute he started speaking about tariffs, one of his main promises was that he was going to lower prices on gas and groceries and everything. Y'all should have known he was full of it, because that's the number one thing that's going to cause everything to go up are tariffs. Whenever the people that express their regret, I don't know, I kind of feel iffy about it, because it's like, what happened within 8 months to make you switch when you had a previous presidency of his and people told you within the election season last year? What chain of events happened to make you go from, oh yeah, Kamala looks drunk, which is so freaking stupid, by the way. What about Trump, who's out here doing speeches and slurring and barely making coherent sentences? But oh, you don't like Kamala's laugh, or she looks and sounds drunk. That's just her voice. Like, we can't help our voice. It's just something that I'm never going to be able to fathom. Like, again, like, what made you switch up so fast? Like, what made you be like, oh, I'm so thrilled, yay, save America, blah, 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 Trump. And now you're like, oh yeah, I see what Black and Latino people are going through now. It took me a while to see it. It's like, man, you look to be of a certain age, but it's like, you voted for this. You know exactly what you did, and you just have to suck it up and accept whatever happened to you. Sorry.
All of my mom's clients are Republicans. And yesterday she finally got brave enough to ask one of them how she thought things were going with Trump. And she said she was scared, and that she thought that she missed the plot. Like, she said, I just thought he wanted to cut waste. And my mom said, did you even read anything about what he thought? She said, well, yeah, but I thought Project 2025 was just about cutting waste and fraud. Anyway, she was really concerned, very stressed, and she has adult children. Adult kids all freaked out, also voted for Trump. I guess, schools are being affected, and that's having a chain reaction to the small businesses that work with schools and stuff. And her son basically was out of a job. And she said, I think, when the pain becomes personal, that's when you start to wake up. And she said, and so even if I thought we might be in a rocky road financially, she says, it's different when your adult children get hit. And I think maybe that's something we haven't thought about, because I know that when you're in a cult, when you suffer, you take that as a badge of honor. Like, we're doing this for something, like a higher good. And so you don't fight against it, really. You may not be comfortable with it, but like, there's also this like pride in it. But when it hits your kids, that's different. Then you start to get angry, because you start to worry, you start to stress. So they can say whatever they want, but as this hits their kids, it will start to upset them, because you can't, that's just, as a parent, you can't defend it. Not really. And in lives, I'm seeing people critique him, complain about him, And they may still say like, well, I just want to see how it keeps going, wait a little bit longer. But I've seen people say they regret the vote. But most importantly, I see them open to the critiques about him. Or they'll say, oh yeah, that critique's fair. Or I think he went too far. Or he's doing stuff I didn't think he would do. Or he's acting crazy. Before the election, you never would have heard those things. Never. They are lockstep. Like there was no crack to even get through to them. On Reddit, in the conservative section, they don't like Schmeelon. They hate that dude. They are concerned about the tariffs because they're like, well, we were told they're a good thing. Then why does he keep jerking them back? And then, okay, we're going to do them. Now we're jerking back. It's like, well, which one is it? And why are you going after every country now, not just one or two? Like it's everybody. They just look like, they realize he looks like he's lashing out. They don't like the whole 51st state with Canada. Like, why are we beefing with Canada suddenly like this? It's like one thing to want to right some wrongs, but like to take them over, they don't like that. They know that Schmeelon was lying about Ukraine hacking X. They flat out are like, that was a manufactured lie. They can see that. The stock market. They're like, he said that if we voted for Kamala, this would happen, but it's happening with him. And he's trying to blame Biden, but like all these crazy actions, how can you not see that they're probably connected? And why that's important is when you're in a cult, it takes a lot to voice that. And once they start voicing it, they'll start talking to each other about it in person. So when I left the Mormon church, I left it, but you don't talk about it because you're scared for the backlash. You're scared to be judged. And so I wouldn't say anything, but then I'd see someone not going as much. And finally I'd say, what do you think about all this? And then they'd say, I think it's crap. The hardcore MAGA that worship him as Jesus, that's always going to take longer. But even then, they don't like how he's representing. So he's hitting all different areas and upsetting them. And the other thing is there were a lot of people who may not love him, but they just voted for him because they think it was going to help them financially. And that is not happening. So the thing that they were counting on is doing the opposite. And that's like a stun gun to them. It's pathetic, but that is what's happening too. So you may have MAGA in your life that are going, oh, everything's amazing. You may see them on here saying that. I don't believe them. Because there's no way this many of them would be starting to voice concern if there weren't major cracks in what's going on. The leaders are just trying to keep face with it. Oh, but there's major cracks. Do not be fooled.
She said a word, yes. Just to kind of speak on what she mentioned at the end, all of these people are going to be coming on right now because they're still in denial. Some of these Trump voters, they do not want to admit that they were wrong. And yes, a lot of people, I don't feel like a lot of people speak about this enough, but I feel like there's levels to being a Trump supporter. I feel like there's the ones that will have everything. They'll have the flag on the truck, the hat, the shirt. They'll have a picture of him somewhere a flag in their yard there. And then you'll kind of have all the way at the bottom, the person that doesn't really care for him much, but is kind of wanting to see like what he's going to do for the economy this time around and like what kind of tax breaks that they could get, especially if they make a good amount of money. And that person may not necessarily care about anything else, whatever like stances he may have on like tariffs and like deportations and all that stuff. As long as he could give them the tax breaks, he's got their vote. Like the example she said about her clients, it's that if they have adult kids, the adults voted for them too. Why do I mean, she's not saying for you to feel bad, but they had their own mind and thought process to still vote for him. Whatever they're getting to, that's on them. And to me, it's just kind of like a lot of these supporters are using excuses in a way, because I feel that this Project 2025 was 900 pages. You can't have honestly thought that that was all about waste and fraud. I refuse to believe it. Just like I refuse, like she said, to believe anybody that's still coming on here saying, oh, I don't know anybody that regrets their vote. I'm so happy. I'm getting everything I voted for. No way. Yet I rarely hear anybody like truly expressing what they're getting in benefit of the voting for this man. I hear people from time to time say, oh, I'm happy for the deportations. That's the main thing that I'm hearing about. He's surely not lowering prices anywhere. You're surely not finding a job easier. I'm not buying it. It's just, and this is the thing, like, I understand people backtracking and thinking like, this really isn't for me. And, you know, you'll get a little bit of, you know, talk back like, hey, how could you do this? Like, I'm so upset at you. You got us into this. But I'd rather somebody be like, hey, this isn't what he told us that he would do. I'm not liking this. Than somebody that's pretending to be all happy about it online, and then behind closed doors, they're stressing about how everything is in their life. People slowly start to eventually see, and it takes time, like she said, but a lot of people are going to take a lot longer. Those people at the top, like I mentioned, in the hierarchy of a Trump supporter, those are going to take the longest. It might not be until he's years out of office to see how much they were duped and scammed.
I just want to say to every American that's having trouble with this, I am sorry I voted for him. I regret it with all my heart. I feel like I've enabled this monster to destroy democracy, destroy everything that is good in this country.
We've got a very crazy man driving the train, and he's going to kill this country.
And Anthony, are you voting a straight up and down Democratic ticket?
Not only there, I am actually for the very first time contributing across the board, across the country. And I've never, ever written a check or spent any money on anything political because I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
I've been a lifelong Republican since the day I turned 18. For the first time in my life, I'm going to vote a straight Democratic ticket. Is if they're connected to Donald Trump, they are not connected to me.
So you now are no longer a Republican?
I am not, no.
Because of Donald Trump?
Because of Donald Trump. It was no longer the party that I joined. It's morphed into something that's almost unrecognizable.
You were a lifelong Republican.
Right.
If somebody had told you, say 15 years ago, that you are preparing to vote a straight up and down Democratic ticket in the midterms, you would have said what to them?
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
So why are you now doing it?
To see Republicans not stand up to him, and the ones that do are just quitting.
I just think there's no values left anymore. There should be values. We have no values. He doesn't have any values. I thought he had values.
No, I'm definitely voting Democrat. I've been knocking on doors. I got a clipboard.
You're even canvassing.
I am canvassing for a Democrat in Wyoming.
That's how strongly you feel.
I believe hardly anything the president says, but I do believe he's a danger to this country and to our democracy.
I think that clip was from CNN. And yeah, they had a whole panel of regretful voters. So that goes to show you, if they were able to go on CNN and talk about like how much they regret it and speak about how they feel about him now, like there's so many people that would probably share the same sentiments. It's going to be more and more of this that's going to be happening and will be displayed in the months and next couple years. What is so different from the 2016 to 2020 than now? To me, I'm seeing the same thing. He's doing a little bit too much with the tariffs and everything. To me, that's really the only difference. Oh, and the deportations, but everything else, that's always been him. So I'm confused as to, again, like I'm gonna keep asking the same question. Like, what's the big difference between the first term and now? Like I said in the previous clip, I'm happy to see that some people are being upfront and going on platforms such as CNN. That's pretty big, and making big proclamations saying that they're not voting Republican, they're done, at least for the next set of elections, let's say. Because they can talk a big talk too, but who knows, they might only vote one Democrat. I'll take them for face value and hope that they're meaning what they say, but that's major to say that they're voting all Democrat. I would have never have thought that. This is just how people are feeling, and again, it makes me kind of a little frustrated and annoyed that people are switching up this quickly. We're only 8 months into this. We still have 3 and a little less than a half years of this man's second term left. Who knows what else we're gonna have to deal with, and it's just, I don't know. I'm happy to see this, really. That's why it's just so, it weighs on me like on each side, because I'm glad to see it, because I respect people who could come out and say, hey, I'm sorry, like I did wrong. I wasn't thinking correctly. I effed up big time. But at the same time, I'm like, again, like, y'all know what y'all were getting. That's what makes me a little upset. I'm sorry. It's like 8 months into this. I could understand if it took you a couple years to be like, nah, this isn't for me. But it's not even a full year into this yet, and we're seeing this time after time, and it just makes you frustrated because, of course, I'm not going to say that Kamala would be perfect. No president is ever going to be perfect. I think we would have been in a way better off situation if she were in the White House right now. I really do. And people are always wanting to say things were high in Biden's term too. Yes, I'm not going to ever deny that things were expensive under Biden, but you have to remember that Biden inherited like the after effects of a global pandemic and a nationwide pandemic where we lost over 1 million people, and so many industries were affected by that. Things are going to be expensive because people are wanting to recoup the losses. So, I mean, things were coming on the way down, and I think that Kamala could have helped that to progress in a downward trend even more. But nope, people wanted to be like, I'm not voting for a black woman. I'm voting for this maniac, and this is what we got. And now there are people coming on and saying that they regret it 8 months in. And this is the reality of when you just let your own personal motivation and what you think is right for your own personal life dictate who would be best for the country. And this is the harsh reality, as I like to say, of what we're going to have to deal with and what we're going to be seeing. I do like that we're seeing people speak out about it. I do ultimately think that it's a good thing. It is frustrating, like I said. I think that it's also going to help more people express themselves into saying that they don't agree with what he's doing. And I can't wait to see it, but also I'm going to be a little upset because y'all put us into this. But I kind of accept y'all apology. I know a lot of people wouldn't let them off that easily, but I could respect somebody that wants to apologize. But that's me, you guys. I don't know. It's a tough one, but ultimately I'm happy to see people being a little remorseful. Those were a few clips of remorseful Trump voters. Now, do I think we're going to see more people come out and talk about it? Yes, I do, because we've already had so many within the past 8 months. Could some of them be lying and just want content and engagement and, you know, reactions from it? Yes, because a Trump voter is usually always going to want some reaction out of something. Let's be for real. But I think a lot of these people truly are regretful. I do. And we have a long way to go. I hope that a lot of these people that voted for him could just do what they can to, I hate to say undo, because you can't undo it, like it's been done. But I do feel like they should do whatever they can to help out in the community, do whatever they can to make things right in their own hometowns or wherever they live. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because that'll let me know that you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye.